Hey fam, what is going on, and welcome back to another Ghost of Tsushima video. So this video is specifically for those of you who are interested in getting Ghost of Tsushima Legends from the PlayStation Plus store. Another thing this video is going to cover is exactly how to navigate the Legends menu once you actually get into the specific game, because it can be a little bit confusing, and I know there's a lot of new players out there that could probably benefit from this type of video. And for all the OGs that might be watching this video, down in the comments below, let me know what I might have missed and maybe answer some questions of some of the newer players if they have questions. But anyways guys, if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If not, it's all good. We love y'all anyway. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to the video. Alright guys, first things first, Sucker Punch did release a tweet saying that people might be having issues redeeming and or downloading the game because when they see the game, they see the words trial next to the game. Well, Sucker Punch is urging people to continue through the download process, whether it says trial or not, and you should be able to download the entire game on its own without it actually being a trial. Now, as you are aware guys, this is simply for PlayStation Plus members. They do get a massive list of games for free that you can play if you are subscribed to PlayStation Plus. Now, I went over all the pricing and stuff in a previous video, so if you want to check that out, feel free. All right guys, so here we are in the actual Legends menu once you boot up the game, and this will be the first thing that you see. We are going to go from left to right, from play to feats to leaderboards to options, to kind of show you guys what you can do in the Legend mode menu. And then if you have any questions, definitely let me know. So to get right into it guys, the first thing you're going to see is play now. Now you will have a character that you will be able to choose, whether it's a hunter, ronin, assassin, or a samurai. You can choose whichever one you want to go first, and you will be at a base key level. The key level essentially is that little power option that you see next to my name, and that will kind of judge whether you will be able to play certain difficulties of the game or not, depending on your key level. So once you go into the play now section, you will get a few options here. You will have quick play option, which is exactly what it stands for. You can choose whether you want a quick play story, survival, or rivals, and basically this will put you in any story or any survival map or any rivals map with any random players. That'll just throw you in the game if you want something just to go in and get some experience and all that cool stuff. But if you want to play the story from start to finish, you do have this option called story. Now understand that there are a bunch of maps, and I believe when you first start you have to play them in order to unlock the next one. So once you click on the first map, for example Severed Hearts, you will have different difficulties that you will be able to start off on. And if you look over here to the right, it will say recommended key level. Recommended is at least 5, so bronze is basically where you start off when you very first start playing the game. If you go down to silver, it will say a recommended level of 35, with 25 being the bare minimum. And you go down further once you start gearing up more into gold mode. Now gold mode has a minimum of 75 to 85 key level. So these are the initial 3 difficulties that you first start off on in the story mode. So this can be any map that you play. There are 9 maps, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and it does basically follow a fantasy type story that has to do with Onibaba, which also has to do with Japanese mythological creatures. So this is a very fun story mode that I think a lot of people will have a good time with, whether you played the main storyline in the base game or not. This storyline is actually pretty fun. Now do be aware this is a co-op story, so you will be matched with a random person in matchmaking. So you and that other person can go through and play, or you can play with somebody that's on your friends list that may have just gotten the game, or that's already got the game and been playing for a long time. So it makes it a little bit more fun because it is co-op. Next guys, you will have the survival option. Now survival is a horde type, wave type game mode. So the way survival works guys is essentially you will be with a team of 4 or 2 or 3, however you want to play it, but you will be thrown wave after wave of enemies, including Mongols and Oni, that make it extremely difficult to complete each wave. There will be 15 waves in total, and depending on what difficulty you're on, it will become very hard. Every 3 waves you will encounter a boss wave, which will have a special modifier along with a big group of enemies that you kind of have to work together with your team, and or if you know how to handle each enemy, take the enemies out on your own. So survival mode can be very fun. The whole goal is just to get all the way to the end, and once you do, you are rewarded with some awesome, not only a good good amount of honor, but you are going to be getting a lot of really good gear. And in my opinion, this is the best way to level up your key level in order to continue to push on to the higher difficulties. Now, this is the same. You have a bunch of different maps, and you will have a bunch of different difficulties in order to play these maps. So if you want to start off on bronze, if you're just starting survival, you'll notice that the recommended key level is a little bit higher than the story level bronze. So this is recommended 15. Same thing with silver, 25 to 50, gold, 75 to 90 recommended key level. And you have the new difficulty that they added on platinum, which is recommended 90 to 105 if you are interested in a very decent challenge. Now, you do have to be a minimum in order to play any of these. Otherwise, it will not allow you or your partners to queue up. Now, the thing about survival, guys, is that it is a 4-player multiplayer game. So whether you go and queue in randomly, you will get matched with 3 other players, or you can queue in with 3 of your other friends. Now, at the bottom right here where it says matchmaking on, you can go, if you want to solo this on your own, go over to turn matchmaking off, or go over again with your D-pad and hit photo mode enabled, and then also matchmaking disabled. So one, if you want to go in there and take photos by yourself, you can do it this way. If you have another 3 players that you're already playing with and they're your friends, you can also turn off matchmaking because it doesn't really matter because you have 4 people and you guys want to go in there and take photos, you can also do it this way as well. So this is a very cool option that allows you to either play by yourself, or if you want to 3-man it or 2-man it with some of your friends, you could turn matchmaking off and you don't have to worry about getting matched with randoms. So I thought that's a really cool option in order for you to be able to figure out what you want. Now, another thing that they added, if you get to your gold difficulty, you go down, you will see there's another option down here. If you go all the way to the right, you will have a fill party option. So once you click X on fill party, you can choose whether you want to play with a certain group of people that are interested in the same goals that you are. So if your goal is to either complete the mission, complete all objectives, complete without losing any defense areas, or just match any goal, it doesn't really matter, then you can kind of narrow down your search with these options. Now, no microphones, mics preferred, mics only will only match you people with microphones, or, you know, party ownership, no preference, or you want your group to be the party owner, whether you or the other person in your group is the party leader. So this is another cool way that you can go through and kind of refine your search if you're looking for certain things and you're trying to complete all objectives, etc., etc. This is a great option that you have. Another option that you have under play now is rivals. So you have 4 maps here that you can choose from in the same way and matchmake with people that are randoms, or you can go in with a buddy. So it is a 2v2 type game that has objectives that allow you to beat the other team. It's basically a race to the finish. And if you are interested in basically how to play rivals, there's a bunch of videos out there on what rivals is specifically. So feel free to check those out. But this is kind of just going over the menu. So it's pretty simple. Now, guys, if you get to that 105 to 120 key level and you're looking for that end game stuff, here is where you go to get the challenges. So you see a lot of people, you see most of my videos talking about Nightmare Survival, Nightmare Story, Nightmare Rivals, blah, blah, blah. Well, here is where you go to get that specific game. So each of these game modes are on a rotation per week. Every Friday around, for me, it's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. These will refresh. So if you go to challenge mode and you go down to your story, you will see that, you know, Nightmare Week 4 is Tides of Battle with Burning Blades as the modifier. So there will be modifiers on each of these that kind of change the dynamic of the gameplay. The modifiers is really what makes it Nightmare, along with obviously them being super difficult. So with the story, you have Tides of Battle, for example, Blood and Steel for survival, Siege in Heaven, and the Trials of Io, which is very, very endgame type gameplay. Now, as you can see here, guys, this is where you would go in order to get that Nightmare gameplay that you might be looking for. If you kind of get to that end game with your character and you're like, well, I'm ready for a real good challenge, this is where you find it right here. Like I said, guys, if you have any questions about story, survival, rivals, or even Trials of Io, definitely let us know in the comments below and we can help you with that. Now, guys, after you're very comfortable with story and survival and rivals all on Nightmare and you feel strong, well, there's a final thing that is kind of another step ahead that makes it a little bit more difficult, that requires a little bit more teamwork and communication in order to complete, and that is the Tale of Io raid. So the Tale of Io raid has 3 chapters, with chapter 1 kind of being a simple kind of intro to the raid, chapter 2 being an all-out like platforming and a little bit lengthy if you don't know what you're doing type of game, and then chapter 3 where you finally get to the end game. in-game boss. So it makes it a little bit interesting, and they are very high tier and high difficulty. So find 3 of your good friends, or even queue in randomly with some people and kind of look for that good cohesive group in order to get through these chapters. But make sure you have time on your hands in order to do these. So guys, that's kind of it for the challenges here, and we will kind of go over this stuff later on if you guys are interested. Now guys, down here under the character section, you will find all 4 different characters. As you can see here, obviously I have them unlocked, but in the beginning you will only be able to choose one. So choose the one that you're most comfortable with. Once you choose that character, guys, you will start unlocking gear, and every piece of gear does have different key levels on it, from 5 all the way to 110, and then eventually to 120 once you start upgrading your gear with the gear mastery system that they incorporated. So once you get all your gear up, the higher gear you get, the higher your key level gets, the more you can go into and do those higher difficulty things. And I have a bunch of builds on my video for each class. If you guys are interested, they will also be linked down below that can go more in depth on these certain builds that you might be interested in for more of endgame gameplay. Next guys, there will be technique slots. Now these techniques will be unlocked, as you can see, rank 16, rank 18. These will be unlocked at a certain rank once you start leveling up your character, and then you can kind of figure out and play around with these techniques and kind of see which one you like the most. Now in order to unlock them, you will have to use essence, as you see down below. This one costs 500 essence, and once you purchase it, for 1, it will automatically equip it for you, and 2, as you see at the top right, it will take away from your little essence pool up there. Now the currency at the top is very interesting because you gain this just by playing the game, and for me, I would say that the most important currency in the center is that little symbol kind of looking like horns, is honor. So that honor you use in order to re-roll your gear. Once you go into whatever gear that you want, you can basically choose different properties, as you see on the right, the possible outcomes, to kind of refine your gear and make it as strong and powerful as you want according to the certain gameplay that you like. So once you get to these different properties right here, you will see that honor is something that it costs as well. Now the reason I say honor is the most important is because honor is the most difficult to attain. Now the way you attain honor is through, I would say, playing survival is probably the best way to get the most amount of honor, but you do get honor from playing story mode, and you do get honor from playing rivals. So just be aware that if you're really trying to do these builds, I would suggest watching my videos or even other videos on YouTube in order to kind of see where to start and what you're looking for. Now those are the techniques, guys, and down below, as you see, is the appearance, which is very self-explanatory. These are all the cosmetics that you get, whether you played the base game or whether you're unlocking cosmetics throughout Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which is very possible because you do unlock a lot of cosmetics for completing challenges and objectives within Legends mode themselves. So you can choose basically how you want your character to look, which is freaking awesome. And this is honestly, guys, my favorite part of the game. I love cosmetics. I love customization. It is one of my favorite things with any game that I've ever played. And honestly, guys, I just can't get enough of it. There's so many different possibilities that you can do with every single character, and you will be able to change how they look and change what basically their aesthetic and you know, look good, feel good, play good. So for me, obviously, as you can see, I really like the all black themes, and it just comes together pretty well. Now understand that a lot of these cosmetics, even some that I use the most, are from Jin's story in the base game. So if you're interested, I would suggest purchasing the base game, which if you're not getting it just for an amazing, beautiful single player open world experience, at least get it for the cosmetics that you can unlock. It's super worth it in my opinion, but it's up to you. Now lastly, guys, you will see the emote section right here, and these emotes are unlocked, as you can see, basically just like any cosmetic. On the right side, it will tell you what you need to do in order to unlock these cosmetics. These are unlocked by default. These are unlocked by collecting Oni treasure and story missions 10 out of 10, right? So all of these things have a objective that you need to complete in order to unlock it, and it will show on the right side if you are confused about it in any way, shape, or form. So guys, that is the character section. Now obviously your social section is going to be all your friends that are online, and this will be the section where you will be able to invite people in order to come into your game. As you can see, there's empty slots. This is where you will be able to go in order to invite people. So if I click on my buddy Enlighten right here and I send him an invite, that's obviously if I'm in a game mode that he can be invited from, or you want to view their profile, this is where you go right here. Next to play, you will see at the top left, there will be a feature section. Basically, as we talked about, there are cosmetics and things that you can unlock. And if you're looking to unlock trophies and stuff like that, this will tell you the percentage of completion in order to be able to unlock those certain things. For example, if we go to your class, every single class has a list of objectives that you can complete in order to unlock certain cosmetics. As you see, when I scroll down the list, the cosmetics will show on the right side what you can unlock and what you have to do in order to get them. Like I said, it also shows when you're in the cosmetics menu under appearance in order to see which one you like. So if you just want a master list, this will show you everything that you need to do in order to unlock your stuff for each character. So let's say you start off with the hunter, go under here and see what you need to do under the different game modes in order to unlock the cosmetics. So if you are interested, go through each of these because these will let you know what you can unlock. The raid, obviously, this is for the raid for the Tale of Io, very end game. And as you can see, I don't really play the raid that much. So there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't unlocked, but this is possible for those of you who are completionists. Now, Conqueror has to do with rivals. Okay, so this will tell you everywhere you need to go and stuff like that. Now, guys, another thing is leaderboards. So the leaderboards are something for all the nightmare challenges that we saw before. You have the story leaderboard, which basically it adds up points with how fast you complete it, whether you do all the objectives or not, etc., etc. You have for your story, you have your nightmare survival, and you have for nightmare trials. They're all leaderboards and all that good stuff. Now, guys, here under your options is very, very simple options, right? You got your controls, you got your gameplay, you got audio, you got display, and you got accessibility. Now, one thing that I will say for accessibility, guys, I think it's very important. Whether you want aim assist or not, you could turn that on here. But the most important thing that I suggest you turn on right away is projectile indicator. This will tell you whether the enemies are about to shoot you. This will show you if they are off screen. It will put an indicator of a little bow right before they shoot you, so you know you're about to get hit. Definitely turn that on. But aim assist you can have on if you're a hunter or not. You know, I didn't have aim assist on for a very long time, but eventually I kind of gave in and started using it, and it's actually really incredible once you get used to it. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for this one. Now listen, there is a lot of stuff that is kind of going on here on screen. I hope this breakdown of the menu helped you out in any kind of way. So if you had any questions or anything like that, this kind of answered them. But if there was anything that I missed, again, to the OGs, please let me know in the comments below. And if you guys have any questions for all the newcomers that I might not have answered here, please also let me know down below. Remember, guys, I have a bunch of build videos that are linked down below, and there is also a bunch on the internet that you can check out in order to kind of get your bearings and kind of get a grip on what kind of builds that you can use that kind of suits your playstyle. Now, none of my builds are anything that I would say are the perfect build that you need to use, blah, blah, blah. These are just templates for you guys to mess with in order to kind of figure out what gameplay you like. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because there will be a bunch of more content, and there already is a bunch of content on the page that you can check out. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys on the next one. Much love. Peace.